GM Farcaster's On-Chain Summer has kicked off with CastOut. 16 players will try to outwit, outplay, and outcast for a chance to win 100,000 DGen. Players will start in two tribes, Mole and Wow. And today brings us the halving, and both tribes will be voting out players after this challenge. Each player will compete on the CastOut Farcaster Arch Speedtracer track. This is both a team and individual challenge. The best player from each tribe will earn immunity, and the tribe with the player at the top of the CastOut leaderboard will earn an advantage for their tribe and vote out one fewer player. Top player will also receive 5,000 DGen from the CastOut.eth prize wallet. A couple rules. Players may only mint their scores twice, and players must complete the challenge themselves, no ringers or bots. If you're not a CastOut player, you can still play along. Back your favorite player on bracket.game. If you have a GM Farcaster Hypersub token, you can claim free packs or pick up some shares at bracket.game. See the CastOut channel for more info. Plus, everyone can play along on Speedtracer with a 5,000 DGen prize for those at the top of both the Global and Farcaster OG leaderboards. Are you ready and on? Let's outwit, outplay, and outcast this on-chain summer with CastOut. And thank you to our premier partner, Pinata, sponsor of both GM Farcaster and CastOut. GM Farcaster, this is the CastOut edition, and you are here with Nounish Prof, TLDR, and Jace, our CastOut superfan. I'm so excited to, this is a big day. We've got the halving, so we're going to cut down to 7 players. So it's been exciting. I know you've been watching. Jace, what do you think so far? And any predictions on who's going today?
First of all, I know we talked about this before we started up, but look at our uniform today. This was not planned.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I mean, to so all funny. Go the hat route.
Well, it's the hattening.
Yeah,
it's the hattening.
Hey, it's there you go. And also, you know, this whole super fan thing. It's like I'm more like the Hedy Lamarr of this whole thing. So you know, like do with that what you will. What do I think is going to happen? I don't know. I'm curious to see if I'm a big believer in the wisdom of the crowd. And a long while back, we put a poll out there about who among the, at the time, top contestants on bracket would be the first to be eliminated. And I don't know what to make of the results. I'm curious in terms of how we reveal.
And I forgot to pull that one up, but the results were Cameron, right? Cameron was the one most people thought were going to be casted out, which I think is interesting. And I think that was a valid prediction for a few reasons.
I thought it was an odd one. Yeah. No, I thought it was interesting. I want to hear your reasons, though.
I would say, like, if you're trying to get out a strong player, that would be somebody to target, because I do think that he could win in the end. And actually, let's take a look really quick on this leaderboard. This was the CastOut Cup leaderboard from Speedtracer today. And so just to kind of round out our discussion here, Toady and Ted are both at the top of this leaderboard, which means for each of them are immune. One is from Mole, one is from Wow. Cameron, for a while, was early. He put in his, he's not even on the leaderboard anymore, I don't think, because he put his in pretty early and others, you know, came in after and beat him. So it was interesting. So I think that might have been a miscalculation on timing too, because he might have been able to bring it in a better time, but didn't quite get there. So there we go. But that means also that Mole had an advantage. They only had to vote out 3 people, whereas Wow had to vote out 4. And I think that's going to change a lot of dynamics. So are you hearing anything around the alliances is what I'm curious about. Either one of you. I don't know if you have.
I heard about the concept of alliances. I have absolutely no idea like what they would actually be. I couldn't even begin to imagine or conceive like how these alliances would get formed.
Oops.
All I can say is look who's talking.
Yeah, what have you know more? I know you know more, Jace. What's going on?
All I can say is look who's talking, but also look who's not talking.
Interesting. We do have a few quiet players, and I think that is part of something I need to think about for the next season is do we keep it all in like a shorter time frame and keep attention going a little better, like do more challenges in the first week and maybe make it just a 2-week thing. So things to think about, as I sort of download after the fact. But I do think there's a couple players who either they never got off the ground because they were too busy. And we saw those two first go out, with Brian and Jacek. And then you had a few who were dialing in and then sort of faded. So we'll see what happens with them. But I think that will be part of what happens with this vote. Will be some of that.
Wait, Prof, say very quickly that like these times are insane.
Yeah.
I know.
I think people like I went and messed around with it. Like, granted, like I used a mouse. Like I didn't like try to figure. But I mean, it's actually shocking to me the times that people were achieving on this. I
think you have to.
People need to recognize that.
Somebody said that about Toadie's time. I'm like, take a look at the number of attempts. He had 185 attempts.
Yeah.
before that time.
Look, I respect that.
That is some dedication.
That's called grit, right? Like that is literally grit combined with talent. Like I'm very impressed.
It's a little bit of both.
I'm so underexposed to Toadie, and Toadie, like I shouldn't be so underexposed. He broke our system, and somehow like we were supposed to only be able to buy 3 packs per player. Somehow Toadie like bought 6 packs of himself. Like he broke our frame. He bet so heavy on himself, broke our frame. He's like performing, like kind of helping win that first thing. It's like, how do I only attend Toadie?
I've been saying, don't sleep on Toadie.
Don't sleep on Toadie. He's a powerhouse. I do believe that if he didn't win today, he'd be out. I'll tell you that. Like I do believe for sure that he would have been voted out. I would be surprised. I could be wrong, but I mean, I would if it was me, I would have absolutely. Like you're going to target the strongest players.
That's I just right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. From that perspective, yeah. Wow, rude. He's saying rude in the chat. Yeah, a little bit rude, but I'm right. I'm telling you, I'm right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about bracket game. I need to finalize the votes, but I do want to just talk about what's going on with bracket game. So TLDR, can you give us a little peek at what you're seeing? Oh, look at that. Look who's at the top now, towards the top now. Some other people have gotten on the Toadie train. So what are you seeing on bracket game that you think might impact today's vote is what I'm curious about. What do you think?
I mean, what I see more on bracket game is people kind of predicting what they think might happen in the vote. So like, it looks like, you just see a lot of green at the top. So like, obviously when Toadie won, Prof, if you go up and click on like the hat instead of the $sign, there's like a toggle.
Oh yeah.
This will be a little bit more accurate because the dollar is including deacons. So like basically Toadie's doubled since he won. Ted didn't have that much room really to run with her win. It basically just validated her position. I mean, Adrian's position is just kind of steady, like people really believing in her. And so I guess like we see like these are the people, those top 5 in green. They're the people that you see appearing on the Speedtracer board. So like I think bracket is just sort of like saying that people who are actually showing up and obviously trying, it seems like those are the ones who are like that are publicly trying are the ones getting rewarded. And I think they're kind of selling off on people who maybe seem quieter.
Yeah, I see a lot of sell-off on some of the wow.
Well, a surprising sell-off is nonlinear, right? But like,
yeah,
I think you saw in our bracket chat, Prof, like, somebody basically like, you know, they were giving a recap and they were like, does nonlinear know that CastOut is happening? And I think that was like, you know, I mean, if they're not seeing him talking about it a lot, I think it's being reflected in the speculation.
This was hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious from Redux. So he had posted this in a DM and in the bracket game DM, and it was hilarious. So just reading this from Redux or Redo, I'm not sure. Bloody hell, decapitate and do business with what's left. Truly ruthless gameplay, Professor Noun. Because I did say that this is the halving and we're getting rid of 7. So extra vote to confessional top casts, likes, etc., relative to followers. And I said, yes, that's correct. Top each tribe on frame game, they can get voted out. And Ted found immunity. When do you confirm this? I'm never confirming immunity. Does nonlinear know he's playing? And when first cast out romance alliance? I don't know if there are any romances, showmances, actually, is what we usually call them in the reality game. Or I know there are some alliances. There are definitely alliances happening behind the scenes, but I don't think there are any showmances in this particular crew. But that would be hilarious. But it's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. 7 is a lot to get rid of in one swoop. So it's going to be interesting. And speaking of, let me go finalize the votes. I got to see where we're at. And because we are done, and I have not gotten any additional information regarding immunity. So I believe we are all set. No one is using hidden immunity idols. I will tell you that, which is interesting.
Those are preserved for next round.
They can use them up to until there are 5 players in the game. So those who have, you know, what's really interesting, and I don't know if it'll play, but on more than one occasion, the last season of regular Survivor, there was 4 or 5 people who went out with immunity idols in their pockets. So that was really interesting. Yeah, so that does happen. And let me take this out. I got to make sure. Some people voted twice because we had a problem with the form. So I'm just taking out the duplicates and counting these up.
One thing to consider with the when you're looking at the bracket standings is sorting by owners. Tells a different story because someone can be at the top of the leaderboard and one person may have just heavily invested in them and you're seeing a bump up in price as a result. However, if you're seeing many owners placing small bets on this, that just tells a slightly different story.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's true. Just counting up. Hold on. We got a close one on this one. So I'm making sure I'm not miscounting. I think that's it.
I'm big on the small bets. I own both teams equally.
I love that you own both teams equally. If I would do the same, but I don't own any equally. Actually, so I did do the same. Yeah. I just don't own any equally.
You equally don't hold.
I equally don't own any. So, and the person who won the extra vote was Kristen. And that was really interesting. If I had done it by straight likes and all of that, it would have been Ted. But we did do this formula to make it a little more fair. And so Kristen did have an extra vote. She chose not to use it. So,
interesting.
And that was interesting. Yeah. So
Kristen's a formidable player. I'm like really impressed with her performance.
Yeah. She's playing well.
Yeah, that confessional was all of the confessionals. I mean, there's there's not one that I looked at and thought it felt phoned in. Like everything that we saw suited the players in the way that their internet selves show up.
Yeah, I agree.
They were so good, Prof. Yeah. Like it's such a cool thing to organize. I absolutely loved it.
This has been really fun. So I have to just do one little thing and then I have the results. We're almost there. I got to just make some adjustments here. I actually did a prediction slide and I was a little bit wrong. I was pretty close though, but I was a little bit wrong. So I need to make one switch here. I was wrong on Mole. I was wrong on Mole on one. Oops, that's not.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by one.
Heavy bets. I'm actually.
Yeah, this is going to get interesting.
The one thing I can't get a beat on is the upset. Like I know that there's going to be there's going to be an upset, but where it is, anybody who says they think they know doesn't. It's impossible.
There were two that I was wrong about. I thought a particular alliance I knew of was going to hold strong. It did not. I'll tell you something.
You know of some of the alliances. Wow, you guys are playing chess, and I'm.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they think they're keeping things from me, but people always slip. People always slip. Kind of figure things out. Yeah. Let me make sure I have this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I think we're good. I think we are good.
7. I hold 7.
Making sure I get this right. I gotta take my predictions off of here because they're wrong. But I was pretty close. So this is the final.
How many did you get right out of?
I only missed 2.
Okay.
And I'll tell you in a second which 2 that I was surprised at. And I'll tell you, there's one other really, really interesting thing that almost happened that we almost had a leader get voted out, but
I mean,
their Speedtracer.
Toady said, I'm nervous right now.
Yeah, Toady, you literally have nothing to worry about. Literally nothing. Literally nothing to worry about whatsoever. I'm just finalizing this one slide. 1 second.
But the fact that you got more than a super majority of your predictions right, 71% is pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I had 2 that I missed, and I'll explain what they were in just a second. All right, pulling this up.
All right, I'm getting.
I know. Sorry for the delay, but I had to make sure I was counting these right because Mole had a tie. Mole had a very interesting tie.
You're so good at building tension. Like you are really, really good at this. Like I feel like I'm watching CBS right now.
This is a very interesting tie, and it was like it would have changed everything. So here are our results. Leaving Team Wow is Riley Beans, Brennan, I Speak Nerd, and Non-Linear. And I was surprised at Riley Beans. I thought she might make it through. It was close. She was the final. She had the fewest votes, but she had enough to be voted out. So Grace, you also got a vote, but you just skated by. So you only got 1 vote and Riley got 2. So Riley Beans is out. Brennan, I Speak Nerd, and Non-Linear. Non-Linear and Brennan and I Speak Nerd. I knew those 3 were gonna go, but I thought it might be Grace actually, just because she was a little less active. Riley is a good player, so that might have been a strategic move. And then for Mole, it was Dillstack, YB, and Ivy. I'm surprised at Ivy. Ivy was not on my radar. I thought she would go through. I thought it was going to be Cameron. So that surprised me. And Cameron, I think did even get any votes, but we had a tie. Cameron got only 1 vote. Adrian got 1 vote. And Kristen got 2 votes along with YB. Wow. However, Kristen had posted a higher Speedtracer time. I don't even think YB did the Speedtracer. So Kristen just skating by, which would have been a huge blindside. Huge, because she's been a very strong player. So if you know things, if you notice things in her confessional, this would have been interesting. This would have been one of those blindsides, but not to be. YB is out. So there you go. There is your players leaving the game.
Wait,
hopefully
guys,
you predicted right.
So look, I hit a grand slam. I have all 7 players. I hold 7 players. You can go look at my holdings. I have these 7 players in my holdings and no one else.
Amazing. Really amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm kind of I think the fact that Cameron was able to keep himself in the game is huge.
Take a screen cap of this.
I think that's huge, because I think that that may have been a mistake on their part. I'll be very honest. If I'm playing from I would have tried to get him out.
I don't know. Like, my man's in the bunker doing the work.
Yeah, he is doing the work.
Yeah. But and I gotta say though, it's like I said this, I think in one of my responses to something, is that he's just such a connector. And like, I honestly think that the strength of his loyalties are probably far outweighing. I would say that somebody who is in close and tight with Cameron can be pulled by Cameron's gravity further along in the game. And I mean, that's fine if they have to duke it down.
That could be a little alliance going on there. There must be, I would think.
People sleep on there's the whole fun dramatic element of it, but I think people discount the value of the loyalty play and the clean play. And even though it doesn't make for good TV, I mean, I think we've all watched programs where there's just someone who you're like, yeah, they deserve to be here still. Like, I really hope so-and-so wins, just because, it's like, it's rare that a fan favorite is the villain, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So there's a reason.
And if I would say, if we were doing a fan favorite right now, he would be in there for sure. But I think it would probably be, Kristen would be in there. Ted, of course, you never can counter out, and Toady. Like, I would say the ones who are, going that extra mile are probably the ones who are standing out to a lot of people. So
big opportunity for someone to control the narrative. I mean, it's not like it takes any time or money to post videos. I mean, they could be spamming us with content and just.
I think Kristen's doing a good job.
Kristen's doing a great job.
Creating fun public conflicts. Like she's again, she's like really impressed me.
Very entertaining. Entertaining. Her video was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. If you haven't watched it, go check it out in the CastOut channel. All of them were great. And they were great. We don't really, I don't want to show them all. They are all a little bit long. But
when I'm watching Ted play though, I literally feel like I'm watching a professional. Like, when you go to like a minor league baseball game and there's one pro, like one MLB player on the field, like maybe doing rehab or like a top prospect that's soon gonna, and she's just such a good player. Like she's just so good at this. It's really impressive.
Her video was next level. It really was. Like, she took it to a whole different level. Added in a producer. Like, they were all good, but I thought hers and Toadie's really stood out. Kristen's was just hilarious, really taking on like the meme of Roaring Kitty. And then Heavyweight did a whole thing. She almost won this extra vote, by the way.
Yeah.
Heavyweight was very close to winning based on the metric that we did. She came in second because she did this whole thing with her cat.
Yeah. We're Mish and I are trying to send Archie out to speak with Pear to get an exclusive, but stay tuned for that.
That was so funny. All right. And anything else that I didn't talk about that you wanted to sort of comment on or bring to the forefront that I may have missed? What else do we? I mean, I think it's been really fun. I think Speedtracer is fun. It's hard. It's a challenge. It is open right now. It's on the. It's actually the race of the day today, so you can go to take a look at that and play along on Speedtracer. And actually, the person who has the global and the Farcaster OG times, I'm giving 5,000 degen to, but I was doing that as of 11, so I do have that person pulled up for me. And actually, Toady is on both leaderboards, at the top of both leaderboards for Farcaster OG and for CastOut Cup. So he's winning 5,000. He's winning 10,000 degen. So there you go. There was a chance to win some degen today, people. Not many people took advantage of that, but yeah, we have some.
I think with the Speedtracer, Mish made a really good point that I'd be curious how many of the top times are players who are playing on iPads.
Yeah, I would love to know that too.
Yeah, I did it with the trackpad on my MacBook, and it was like 12 seconds. I was like,
me too.
I'll leave this to the professionals.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, it definitely works better on a mobile. You're right. iPad is probably the easiest, but you can see when they show their screen, when they show their mint, you can see where it came from. So if you look at Toady's, you can see that he was using his phone, and you can see how many attempts as well. So that's why you can see attempt 185, iPhone 14.
Yeah, no big deal.
So things like that.
Cameron got his times with a mouse.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. Actually, if he'd just done it on mobile, he would have done better. He probably would have done better. But yeah, I was impressed by a lot of these times are incredible. So that was Toady's, 185 attempts. He said 10 actually happened.
These 7 remaining players are super strong.
They're really strong. So yeah, let's talk about that real quick as we wrap. We've got 7 remaining players. We have, come on. We've got, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Wrong one. I need the one that we've casted out. That's at the bottom. We've got 7 remaining players, and we have some fan favorites, of course. We've got Ted. We've got Toady. They both won the immunity in this last one. We've got Adrian, who is hanging in there. Kristen, who has been the sleeper that nobody saw coming. Cameron, obviously very strong player. I bet he has an incredible social game, and I think you're right. That's probably why he's still in. And then we've got Grace and Heavyweight kind of rounding out the pack, and they've been a little bit quieter players, but both very strong showing in this past challenge. And I think they also have some strong games. So we've got 5 women and 2 guys. So that's why I'm surprised Cameron's still in. I thought there might be a women's alliance, and I thought maybe Cameron was going to be taken out. But he held in there, and that says a lot about his social game. I'll be very honest. That's huge. So we shall see. We'll see. We'll see.
I've held Grace since day 0. So that was
that's why.
the only
hanging in there.
Yeah.
I bought an hour ago. I bought 750 shares of Grace. I had a great feeling about Grace. Absolutely loaded.
And she ended up. She had some technical challenges, but she ended up on this leaderboard. She wasn't too far down. She was 4th, I think. And I think, but I could be wrong, but I think number 3 might be Erica, because she was having some wallet issues. So I think that might be her. I'm not positive though, but I believe so. So yeah, so we've had it's been interesting. But I think that stop jacking up the price, Tim. you're getting chastised in the chat.
People like it when they hold. They love to see people buying over them, but they don't love it when you get in before.
They don't love it when you buy over them. So we're going to be back tomorrow morning. GM Farcaster, I'll have the next challenge announcement. This will be an individual challenge for the remaining 7 players. And for the players who are watching, going to be changing around your group chats a bit. One will become the group chat for those who have been casted out. And the other one will become the group chat for the remaining players for any announcements and questions, etc. And then also something to keep in mind, these 7, as they are voted out, become the jury. So this is the official merge. Wow. So we'll have 5 of these players will end up as the jury, and they will decide who of the top 2 in the end wins. So it's all different now. Here we go.
It's a brand new ball game.
More confessionals.
More confessionals. I may have to. I gotta get some really good incentives for confessionals. I gotta think this through. There will not be any additional hidden immunity idols. There are 2 still out there. They are being held. They can be transferred. They can be used for other people. So that is possible. And then each challenge will have its own immunity as well. So get ready, and we'll be back tomorrow. Anything else? Any last words? Go check out Bracket Game if you haven't done so already. Hey, Tim, can they still claim their packs if they haven't yet? If they are okay.
Yeah. If they hold,
you're a GM. If you're a GM Farcaster Hypersub holder, you still have some free packs to claim. You better go grab them, because maybe all your packs are for people who just got voted out. So
or maybe you'll get a batch of the leaders.
You might get a batch of the leaders. Yeah, they're all random.
Be worth a decent amount.
All right. And with that, everyone, it's been fun. And thank you again, Jace and TLDR, for being here. And I know that everyone has to get on with their day, but we'll see you tomorrow morning when we'll announce the next challenge. It's going to be fun for the players, I hope. And we'll see how it goes. And with that, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye-bye.